Hello everyone, it has been just over a month since Eden Crafters released onto Steam, but I'm glad to be back as they introduced the third planet. And this new planet is a low gravity and mostly gas planet. From what I've seen in a screenshot that they posted on Steam, it looks like these are just a bunch of floating islands, but we'll see how they are. Actually, it says it right here, with floating rock formations, suspended above its surface, so there is an actual planet. So let's hop into Aetheria. Okay, I guess we are on top the floating islands. And meteors are falling too. Actually looks pretty good. Pretty cool. Right, I imagine we fall down, we die. Seems like there's an iron deposit right here. I think this is basalt here. Yeah, that's basalt. Of course, we have a bunch of regular rocks around. And then there's a couple caves as well. I think we're just gonna set up right around here. Not far from where we spawned. Not that we have much choice, seeing as we have oxygen to deal with. Let's go investigate the cave real quick. Alright, there's some copper ore, some quartz. Nothing special. So I know we just got this new big update, but the devs have already teased the next one. Well, it doesn't really sound like a massive update, but apparently around January, which is next month already, which is kind of crazy, we're going to get new things like trains. Don't know how trains will work in this environment, unless we can build floating tracks, but it sounds pretty cool, that's for sure. Alright, I placed down the very first miner. That actually skipped a couple quests, so good to see they didn't change that. Not that we really need a tutorial at this point. But to be fair, it is a nice refresher to get back into the game. Oh look, diamond. Alright, I think we picked this cave clean. I do quite like the look of this place, though. It looks really cool, especially the skybox. It has a very nice turquoise color. You see a bunch of meteors float by. Different planets. Of course, the floating islands are always a nice touch, in my opinion. Alright, we get to the point where we have advanced miners, which means automation is now on the menu. A water collector. I was wondering how we were going to get water in this place. It said this planet had 5% water. I haven't seen any yet, but there are different islands. I guess there is a cold one here, but maybe the 5% is water in the air, maybe. Something I have noticed, though, on this planet is when you start mining, it is kind of laggy. So I don't know what they did during this update, but it does require some optimization, that's for sure. Alright, with that we can make the advanced miner. Alright, we want to get this thing automated as soon as possible, so we're going to need conveyor belts, which is iron plates, as well as a forge, which requires even more iron plates. So there we go. God, that is slow. Did they change the speed of these things? 60 a minute? No, I think that was normal. It just looks so slow now. But hey, we're now automatically creating iron ingots. I would love to get 2 of these, but that's 4 circuit boards. I don't think we can make that. Alright, part producer 1. Alright, my genius plan involved splitters, but that also required circuit boards, so I guess in the end it wouldn't have mattered anyway. Let's just toss that in there for now, and we're gonna be making plates. And then it wants us to get the water collector. That is already quite expensive. A rotor, well, 2 of them, requires cables and rubber belts. Alright, that requires us to get more copper. And there was this other cave here. I guess it does have copper, hell yeah. And that was this entire cave emptied. Alright, those are the 2 rotors we need. Then we can make the water collector. Alright, this will produce water from the humidity that's in the air. Alright, to properly start terraforming, it wants us to create a greenhouse. That isn't that bad, that just costs glass panes. I don't think those were expensive at all, right? It costs silica. Yeah, that's not that bad. If worst comes to worst, I did see a quartz deposit somewhere in the distance, so we can always mine that, but I kind of want to do that in a bit. And at this point, it might also not be a bad thing to put a miner on cement or something. But hey, problem for another time. We don't need it right now. I do think, though, the neat thing about this water collector is that we can kind of place these all over the place now. Like before, we were kind of stuck to needing to build near water, but now we don't have to anymore. Asteroid detected. I've been seeing those like all the time, man. Why is this one bad? Is that the one? The light ball that's coming? Or is that just the sun? I can't tell. Oh. Okay, so low gravity wasn't particularly the bad thing about this planet, I guess. It's the meteor impact. That destroyed the entire island? Wait, is that gonna happen to us? That might be bad. Very, very bad. Is that shown on the map as well? I don't know, I actually don't remember what it looked like before. Alright, we got the greenhouse up and running. Alright, ground fertilizer is up next. Wow, we actually have pretty much everything for that if we grab the organic. Could have also grabbed it from here, this is a lot faster now. Alright, we're gonna need some water, so we're gonna need a split. So we can properly connect it to everything. There we go. And still at 100% water, that is surprising. This water collector produces a ton of water, man. Yeah, okay, this is where we might run into an issue. The planet analyzer is what we need to build next. Requires antenna and computers. I think both of those cost copper. Yeah. Ooh, 10 as well, 10 circuit boards. And then a bunch of copper cables. We are going to need to find either a copper deposit or a place that just has a ton of copper laying about. I think I see one over there in the distance. Now, problem is there is a gap. Another problem, of course, being that it is kind of far away. Alright, I brought the supplies for an advanced miner. We spawned in with 2 oxygen capsules, so we should be fine. Now, can we make the jump? Oh yeah, easily, thanks to this low gravity. Now, did my eyes deceive me? Doesn't look like it. This looks like copper. Oh yeah. And we also have power out here. That is kind of surprising. Just in case, I'm gonna place down another one. And I'm just gonna pull an entire conveyor belt all the way back to our base. And there we go. It might take a little while for it to get here, but we should have basically infinite copper now. Just gonna check up on it real quick. Because if the game has taught me anything, is never to believe these conveyor belts. Alright, well, there they go. They're slow as heck. Alright, in the meantime, what I'll do is I'm gonna place a couple more miners down. One on the rock, so we finally get that automated. And one all the way out here on the quartz deposit. And of course, we'll bring that back to base. I'm gonna slap both of them into a forge. Seems like the copper is finally arriving. And there we go, we're getting copper ingots now. That actually took a while. Alright, there we go. The rock should go in here. That will be smelted. I think with that, we have all basic resources automated now. And converging onto this tiny spot. Alright, that means that we can continue with what we were doing, which is building the planet analyzer. What seemed like a near impossible task a second ago was now easily done. Alright, we got the planet analyzer. We got another quest as well, which is to destroy asteroids. So eventually we'll have to work our way up to a rocket site, and then the rocket site will automatically make anti-asteroid rockets. Now I do kind of hope that we don't constantly need a flow of all these supplies, because those are kind of expensive though, I will admit. Even for a later game, depending on how many resources we're gonna obtain. But alright, if we look back at our planet analyzer, we're gonna need to fertilize more regions. And I think that's all the basic quests done now as well. Fertilizing the region should be easy enough now. We just have to make rotors to make the water collectors. That's probably going to be the most painful part. We are using up a ton of power. Alright, this should keep us going for a little while. Alright, so looking at it, rubber is really just our bottleneck. However, it should be very easy, seeing as we have the greenhouse now. So all of it needs, really, is a part producer. 2 of them, technically. We can make the rubber belts very easily like that. Alright, this is probably going to be a little messy, just due to the placements. It's all going to be temporary anyway. Alright, let's see. We need rubber. And then the rubber has to be turned into rubber belts. All that should be automated now. So I also want to unlock the tier 1 warehouse. I think in order to do that, we had to make the container? No. Then it must be the container tier 2. And while we're at it anyway, we may as well also make the standard oxygen tank. That just allows us to run around the planet a little longer. Right, make the tier 2, an editable sign, a shelf, and there we go, the warehouse tier 1. Now, I think that is kind of expensive, right? Yeah, but actually not that bad. Because realistically, I think we probably have all of it. Or at least we can make it. Alright, we already have the supplies for a tier 1. And we get another cutscene. Fantastic. It just seems to hit an island back up. How the hell does that work? So I think it only temporarily disables islands. If that is the case, that's probably a lot worse than the tidal wave that the ocean world had. Because this could completely halt you for like half an hour until it's back, basically. I think that is a way better threat, to be honest, something to get rid of than the tidal wave was. I don't think the tidal wave in Ocean World was that bad. Like, it sounds really bad, it looks really bad. But to be fair, all it did was disable your power at the start of the game. Then once you had tier 2 solar panels, you never had to worry about it, and it was just a cutscene for fun. Alright, we got a tier 1 warehouse set up, so everything should flow in here. And it looks like we had just enough space in there to fit everything in that we made today. And the neat thing about the warehouse tier 1 is we have access to the supplies that are in there all over this world. Now, again, this is only a temporary setup, but at least while we're working on a proper base, we have access to plates, to cement, to the copper ingots, all the good stuff, basically. Up next, what I want to do is I want to focus on getting some of these terraformation objectives done so we unlock more deposits. Because if we build this real quick, the analysis radar, we can open up our map. And we can actually see really far with this, kind of surprised. But we can see the ore deposits. And every time we upgrade the planet analyzer by completing an objective, the analysis radar will scan for better deposits, basically. I'm surprised we can even see up to here, though. That radar goes really far. It kind of shows how small this world is as well, or this planet. So that will be a job for the next episode. And I think another job that we should probably do is set up a more permanent and better warehouse system as well. Because eventually we're going to need iron ingots, these plates, we need a bunch of rods as well. Same with this, of course. And I'm also going to need regular organic at some point again, and rubber. So we're going to have to create a bunch of splits and other things. Basically get everything up to the next tier, up to all the stuff we need. I'm thinking of expanding a bit towards that way. Put a bunch of warehouses down. Everything lead towards those. Yeah, that will do it for today. So I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye everyone.